Did you know that some UK cities are falling apart faster than ever before? We're not just talking about a few potholes or empty shops. In some areas, life expectancy is lower than parts of war-torn countries. Neighborhoods are being abandoned, schools are closing, job opportunities are vanishing, and mental health issues are skyrocketing. In fact, according to recent government data, 5 of the 10 most deprived towns in all of England are in the north. And one city on today's list has the highest rate of child poverty in the entire UK. What's causing this dramatic collapse? Is it the economy, years of underinvestment, or something deeper, something systemic? And here's the shocking part. While London and a few major cities continue to grow, these towns are shrinking, crumbling, and being forgotten. This isn't just about failing buildings. It's about broken communities, lost futures, and real people struggling every single day. In today's video, we're uncovering the 6 fastest collapsing cities in the UK for 2025. And trust me, some of them will surprise you. By the end, you'll see why urban collapse isn't just a headline, it's a wake-up call. Because this is one story the news isn't telling you. Number 6. Bradford. Bradford is one of the youngest cities in the UK, with nearly a third of its population under 20. You'd think that means potential, energy, and a bright future. But the reality? It's a city on the edge. Once known for its booming textile industry, Bradford has been caught in a cycle of poverty, poor infrastructure, and fractured community development for decades. According to recent government reports, it ranks among the most deprived local authorities in England, with many neighbourhoods facing long-term economic and social challenges. Schools are underperforming, youth unemployment is high, and despite several regeneration projects, many families are still living below the poverty line. Even though the city has a vibrant cultural identity and a rich history, it's been unable to turn that into economic success. In 2020, a report from the Centre for Cities named Bradford as one of the UK's least resilient economies, with limited access to high-paying jobs and low business investment. Combine that with overcrowded housing, poor transport links, and rising health inequalities, and the picture becomes painfully clear. And yet, there's a strange contrast. Bradford was named the UK City of Culture for 2025. While this recognition brings hope, critics argue that without deep structural change, it might just be a temporary spotlight. Bradford isn't beyond saving, but the clock is ticking. What happens when a young city is full of dreams but no direction? Stick around, because the next city on this list is fighting a very different, but equally dangerous battle. Number 5. Hull. Hull, officially known as Kingston upon Hull, was once one of Britain's busiest. It played a key role in trade, shipping, and fishing. But today, that former glory has faded, and Hull now struggles with one of the lowest average incomes and property values in the UK. In 2025, Hull faces a grim mix of problems. Unemployment rates remain high, and many jobs that do exist are low-paying and insecure. It's one of the most digitally excluded cities in England, meaning many residents lack access to basic internet services, a serious issue in an increasingly online world. The education system is under pressure, and youth disengagement is growing. More than a third of children in Hull live in poverty, and the city consistently ranks near the bottom in national well-being and health surveys. Despite major redevelopment attempts, like the Hull City of Culture 2007, progress has been slow and uneven. Many areas remain run down, with boarded-up shops, empty lots, and crumbling social housing dominating the landscape. What's most heartbreaking? The people of Hull are known for their resilience, humour, and strong sense of community. But they're being let down by years of underinvestment and policy neglect. This isn't just an economic collapse, it's a slow erosion of pride, identity, and opportunity. Do you live in Hull or know someone who does? Drop a comment below and let us know what the city looks like today. We want to hear your story. And if you're finding this video eye-opening so far, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden truths of UK cities. Stay with us, because the next city on this list once shaped British industry, and now it's struggling to survive. Number 4. Sunderland. Walk through the back streets of Sunderland on a grey morning and you'll feel a chill in the air, but the weight of something deeper. The slow vanishing of a city's heartbeat. Once the pride of the Northeast, Sunderland built ships that sailed the world. Its shipyards were massive, its people proud, and its name known far beyond the River Wear. But now that industrial roar is gone. In its place, silence, shuttered storefronts, weeds pushing through cracks in the pavement. The factories are closed, the shipyards have long rusted, and the digital age hasn't exactly arrived here with open arms. In fact, Sunderland has some of the lowest broadband accessibility rates in urban England. Not just jobs are disappearing, opportunities, skills and aspirations are vanishing too. Local councils have tried to reignite the flame. There are tech park investments, but for many families, especially those in the city's East End and Palion areas, life is still defined by low wages, food banks, and schools struggling to keep up. It's not dramatic, it's not loud, but that's what makes it more tragic. Sunderland isn't collapsing in a single blow. It's bleeding out slowly, piece by piece. And perhaps the most painful part, so few outside the city even notice. As we move on, the next city's collapse is a stark contrast. Louder, messier, and far more public. Stay with us. Number 3. Stoke-on-Trent. Stoke-on-Trent used to be a symbol of British craftsmanship. Known around the world as the Potteries, it was the birthplace of iconic ceramics brands like Wedgwood and Royal Doulton. Entire generations built their lives around the kilns and clay. But fast forward, and the story has changed dramatically. Factories have closed, skilled jobs have disappeared. What remains is a city grappling with the loss of its identity and struggling to find a new one. Stoke is now one of the most economically challenged cities in England. In recent reports, it ranked among the lowest in terms of social mobility. In other words, if you're born into poverty here, it's incredibly hard to climb out of it. Healthcare services are stretched. GP shortages have made basic care harder to access. Mental health issues are rising, especially among the city's youth. And while some neighborhoods are trying to bounce back, others are stuck in cycles of neglect, antisocial behavior, and broken public services. Even the housing reflects the city's decline, boarded-up terrace homes, dated high-rises, and streets where investment seems to have stopped decades ago. Yet Stoke's biggest challenge isn't psychological. A city built on pride is now haunted by uncertainty, with many young people feeling they have no choice but to leave. There are sparks of hope, community-led projects, independent artists, and small-scale redevelopments. But the gap between the old glory and current reality remains wide. Up next, we head to a city whose fall from grace is just as painful, but marked by shocking public health stats and the UK's highest deprivation levels. Number 2. Middlesbrough. If you want to see what long-term neglect looks like, walk through Middlesbrough's town centre. Once the engine of the Northeast's industrial boom, this steel-producing powerhouse now ranks at the very bottom of multiple national well-being and deprivation indexes. In some parts, expectancy is nearly 10 years below the national average. That's not just concerning, it's devastating. Middlesbrough has the highest rate of severe child poverty in the UK. Schools are under-resourced, public services are stretched thin. And the job market? Bleak. Most employment opportunities are low-wage and insecure, with entire generations feeling locked out of prosperity. In 2024, a report from the Centre for Cities named Middlesbrough one of the UK's most left-behind towns. And the evidence is everywhere. Empty retail units, pubs turned into betting shops, rising crime rates, and a visible mental health crisis playing out on the streets. as addiction and homelessness become impossible to ignore. It's not just that the economy collapsed, it's that no one came to pick up the pieces. Even attempts to regenerate the area, like the Boho Zone Tech Hub, have faced criticism for failing to benefit local people. For many residents, it feels like ends in disappointment. But here's the thing, Middlesbrough's decline isn't inevitable. It's the result of decades of decisions made elsewhere by people who've likely never walked these streets. And yet, it's not even the hardest-hit city in 2025. That title goes to a seaside town that's become a symbol of what happens when an entire system gives up on a place. Stay with us. Number 1. Blackpool. Blackpool was once the crown jewel of British holidaymaking. Families would pack the promenade, the piers were alive with music, and the lights turned the night sky into magic. But now, in 2025, Blackpool stands as the fastest collapsing city in the UK. Behind the flashing arcades and nostalgic trams lies a harsh reality. Blackpool has the lowest life expectancy in England. In some parts, a man's average lifespan is just 68 years, some of the poorest countries on earth. It's not just health. The town has the highest rates of child deprivation in the UK, with generations growing up in broken housing, underfunded schools, and families trapped in cycles of poverty. The local economy relies heavily on seasonal tourism and low-paid service jobs. For many, there's no clear path out. Add in rising addiction rates, poor mental health support, and a housing market flooded by substandard rentals, and you have a community being pulled apart from all sides. Even attempts at regeneration, new tram lines, upgraded seafronts, struggle to touch the deeper issues. Because Blackpool's problem isn't cosmetic, it's structural, it's systemic, and it's urgent. There are people here fighting back, teachers, local leaders. But when a town becomes a dumping ground for the forgotten and the underfunded, heroism alone isn't enough. Blackpool isn't just in decline, it's crying out for help and being met with silence. This isn't the ending of a story, it's the middle of a crisis. 6 cities, 6 different stories. But one painful truth, urban collapse isn't just about crumbling buildings or economic data. It's about people. It's about kids growing up without chances. Families stuck in cycles they can't escape. Communities trying to stay strong while their support systems fall apart. These cities aren't failures, they've been failed. From Blackpool's broken housing to Middlesbrough's mental health crisis, from Stoke's forgotten streets to the silent decline in Sunderland, these places show us what happens when policy neglect meets economic drift. But let's be clear, collapse isn't destiny. Every city on this list still has people. Teachers, volunteers, local business owners, artists, youth workers. They're trying every day to hold things together. So maybe the real question isn't, why are these cities collapsing? Maybe the better question is, what are we doing about it? If this video made you think differently about the places we often overlook, then share your thoughts in the comments. Have you lived in any of these cities? Do you see signs of decline or signs of hope? Drop your experiences below. We read every comment. And if you want more eye-opening stories like this one, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you never miss a deep dive. Check out our next video. You might be surprised who's turning things around. Because decline, it's just the beginning of the fight to rebuild.